Okay, folks, as you probably saw earlier, we were over at the Supreme Court for oral arguments and Louisiana versus Cali. That case is important because essentially, if the court rules on the side of the state, you'll have an opportunity to essentially nullify what remains of the Federal Voting Rights Act. The law has protected the right to vote since 1965. And some of you may be saying, what does that mean and why do I care? Before 1965, many states that had Jim Crow laws had something called a literacy test. This was a test which, depending on the state, you had to demonstrate you had at least a fifth grade education or pass this test. This is during a period of time where many people didn't have formal education at all. It was meant as a method of voter suppression, which was facially neutral, but it was administered in a discriminatory manner to suppress African American votes. Let's go through what literacy test is because, boom, we've got the Alabama literacy test from 1965. Would you pass? Would you be able to vote in the state of Alabama in 1965? Let's find out. Question three. What is the writ of habeas corpus? Imagine you are a black southern sharecropper in the 1960s, and they're asking, what is the writ of habeas corpus? What branch of government is in charge of passing laws with regards to piracy? And oh, they're talking about internet piracy. It didn't exist yet. They're talking about piracy on the high seas. They're asking a question about admiralty law. So we're just picking these questions at random. You can find these online. Just type in Alabama literacy tests or Louisiana. Most southern states had them in place for this express reason. Another question. If a person receives a majority of the electoral college votes, the vice president is chosen by the Senate. Is this true or false? Do you just kind of know that off the top of your head? Also, as I mentioned, you had to get a 100% on these tests. You couldn't get a single answer wrong, or you would not be allowed to vote. And so the concept is if they're able to peel away what's left of the Voting Rights Act, or they're allowed to redistrict in such a way as is in question in Louisiana versus Cali, you can see Republicans simply with the stroke of a pen across much of the South reduce the number of Democratic seats by as much as 15. It will guarantee them a basically perpetual Republican Republican majority. Meaning that when we talked about that convention of the states yesterday, when we talked about changing the Constitution, that's how you get there. So when we talk about how important this case is today, it's because it will fundamentally change what America means going forward.